So the internet has lots of videos showing how people have improved their Harbor Freight 30-inch metal brake. This is no exception, but I think I have a couple of interesting improvements that you'll like. So here's a walkthrough of what I've done to my metal brake. When you buy the Harbor Freight metal brake, all you get is this bar, metal bar, and you have to use clamps. And 100 out of 100 times when I've tried that, it slipped. The metal would push back and forth the top bar. It didn't really hold in place. So what I've done that others have done as well is I've welded an L bar on top of that, the metal bar. And as you can see, I screwed it up. I used too much heat. I think that next time I would just go with spot welds. And as a result, it's curved so that the center is lower. But I actually don't mind that so much because that makes for the pressure on the sides harder, stronger. And in some cases, I've seen people add bolts into the center of the bar in order to create this press. So, hey, that's a benefit of screwing up your weld. Then on the side, Home Depot has these kits of door springs. They're pretty big. It took me a couple of shop visits to finally find the one that works, and it's a really nice, big, strong one. And all I've done is put a nice washer at the top, as you can see, and then that washer sits on top, and I welded this thread, cut it to size, and that was it. A couple of tips that I have is when you're doing this weld, use nuts to attach this to your L bar after making the cut. And by the way, I made a long cut that allows me to push the bar back and forth to make adjustments for the thickness of the material. What I did in order to position the weld properly here is I connected the threads to nuts. At the furthermost position, I opened up the brake into a position like this, pushed the bar all the way against it so I knew that was my frontmost position, and that's how I welded it. And then now I can move it back and forth, and I'll show you how that's done. So let me replace this nut. Going nuts on this nut. As you can see, there's also an interesting improvement here at the top, which I'll show in a second. Then I also welded this small L bar at the back. What this allows me to do is I then added a threaded screw. This allows me to push and adjust exactly how far to the front do I want the bar. And again, I do the adjustment based on the thickness of the material. And last but not least, I'll show you the regular coupling bolt. These are called coupling bolts. They look like this when you buy them at Home Depot, and I was able to find a 30-pack for less than the price of 2. So go to Amazon. And the problem is, and I'll show you what that looks like. Here's a quick clip of what that looks like when you try to do that using a wrench. So with the wrench setup and the coupling nut, this is how I open and close my brake. And that's a lot of work and effort. Here's the welding setup. What I did is I went to Home Depot and got these adapters for a drill bit to hex nut, and then I clamped it together with the coupling nut. Now I'm going to weld it, and you'll see the end result. So now, with my improvement to this coupling nut, I can just use my handheld drill and close it up, and that's it. Easy peasy. Of course, this is without showing you how I make the adjustments to go back and forth, but that's a quick overview of my Harbor Freight 30-inch metal brake improvement.